Yay! Finally, she's here. I wonder, what did they name her? Uh, would that be Lethor? Nah, that kind of it's kind of bad. Lethor, yeah, Lethor. Lethor sounds amazing, right?
Lethor is an agile, bare-fisted fighter. The crest on her hand
Got
gives her the
him!
power to manipulate aura and take down her enemies.
Hello, guys. It's Legend over here. It's been a couple of days since Lethor finally arrived to North America and Europe servers. And we had a couple of days to test her out to see what she's all about. And I must say, personally, I love this character. This character is amazing. She has style, she's very strong, both on offense and defense, and has a really amazing active skill kit. So today, I came up with a guide for Lethor, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's see what she's all about. Let's go. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about Lethor's skill set. What she has. And first on the list is Active Tiger Claw. So, upon use, it costs 250 SP. Lethor leaps forward and does a round attack. Now, the AoE on it, the range, is quite wide, so this active skill is quite useful during the leveling. Whenever you're swarmed by the enemies, you can just use it and just get rid of all the monsters. It deals a lot of damage. It's really good active skill, so max it out. Make sure you max it out. And one of the other good things about the Tiger Claw is the fact that whenever you use it, it can be chained into the chain arts. And the chain arts, we're gonna talk about it just a bit later, are your combos, your smash attack combos. So it's really important. It's very useful. Rank it up. Next up is Cartwheel. Cartwheel is your basic dodge/dodge ability. Whenever you use any directional key buttons plus space, Lethor is going to do a cartwheel. Now, while in a cartwheel, you're going to gain iframes, so you won't get hit during the cartwheel. So rank it up. It's one of the essential tools of survivability and mobility. Cartwheel Strike, next up. Cartwheel Strike, whenever you do a cartwheel, you can end up pressing the right click after it, and you will deliver a blow. I honestly don't find it really that useful, and you're probably not going to use that much, but you can actually link your normal attacks after the Cartwheel Strike. Next up is Crescent Chain Arts, and Lethor's combos vary. She has 3 different types of combos. Crescent Chain Arts, which is 1 left click and then 3 right clicks. Full Moon Chain Arts, which is 3 left clicks and then 3 right clicks. And Half Moon Chain Arts, which is in the middle, 2 left clicks and then 3 right clicks. These are your essential combos, so you make sure you rank them up. There is honestly pretty much no difference in damage between them, so I would recommend to just max them all. So the Crescent, the Half, and the Full Moon Chain Arts, and you will be set. Next up is Diamond. So Diamond is your basic block. Whenever you use the space button, Lethor goes into a stance, and if an enemy is attacking you at that time, she will block it. So you will receive no damage, you gain iframes from that. Make sure it's maxed. It's only rank F, so I think you just need to unlock it, and it will be there. And the same goes for Fist Arts. It's only rank F. Fist Arts are just left-clicking, and the string is only 3 hits. And what's really amazing about Fist Arts is the fact that the second and the third hit in the string of the left clicks restores stamina. And this is just amazing. So whenever you just run out of stamina, you can just do a couple of Fist Arts, just left clicking, and you will restore stamina really, really rapidly. So level it up, make sure it's there. So full moon chain arts, as I said, and half moon chain arts, max them up. They are your basic combos that you're going to be using a lot, different types of them. They do a lot of damage. Next up is Tiger Strike. So Tiger Strike is extremely important because it's just a key thing about the whole character. Lethor is a counter class, and what you would want to do whenever you will have sandbagging opportunities. So whenever the boss is on a recovery, you're gonna be doing your chain arts, right? But whenever the boss attacks, you would want to make sure that you're fishing for every single possible counter there is. And whenever you do that, whenever the boss attacks you, you press the space button, right? You use diamond, and then you can right-click and do the Tiger Strike. It does a lot of damage. It also restores your stamina, and you can link them up. You can chain counter as many attacks as you want, as long as you have the stamina for it. This is an essential tool. It's max it up as soon as possible. Just make sure it's there, it's maxed. It's the most important thing about Lethor. Next up is Active Dragon Fang, and this active skill has two different it has two stages. So whenever you use it, first of all, it costs 500 SP. Whenever you use it, the first hit, automatic hit that she does, and then if you press a right click, she will do a dragon kick. The first hit is very useful to flinch bosses. It has a very high chance to flinch any monster, so it's going to be quite useful. And the second strike, the dragon kick, does a lot of damage. When you just leap forward, you can see it on the preview. It's pretty good tool, so I would recommend to level it up. Next up is Active Aura Burst Rampage. Now, this skill might look a little bit complicated, but it actually is not. So, what happens? First of all, it costs 500 SP as well. Whenever you use it, Lethor does one hit. Well, there is going to be an explosion, and then you just spam right-click after that. And Lethor does, as you can see in the preview, she does a flurry of different attacks, and finishes up with a very strong attack at the end. What's so good about Active Aura Burst Rampage, or just Rampage? The explosion that happens upon use, the first hit and the last hit give you true iframes. And true iframes allow you to actually not get hit by any red attacks. So you're invincible to anything. So the startup, the first hit, and the last hit gives you true iframes, and it's amazing. It's really amazing to just, to negate any red attacks, any KOs, anything. So whenever you use it, you just spam right click and she does this flurry of attacks. You can finish Rampage at any stage whenever you want. Just press the left click and it will just, it will finish the animation, and the last strike, as I said, is going to be a true iframe, and it's going to end. Next up is Active Aura Release. So this active skill costs only 400 SP, and what happens here? You use it, and you infuse yourself with the power of your crest, and you gain stamina regeneration for 60 seconds at max rank, and your attack speed increases. So it's basically a buff, and you would want to make sure that you release that buff, you use that buff as soon as possible whenever you start fighting. So stamina regeneration, attack speed, max it out. It's really, really useful because Lethor excels at, the more speed you have, the better it is. Max it out. Next up is Dragon Strike. Now, Dragon Strike is kind of like, if you ever played Bokai, it's kind of like Magnum. It has stages, 3 different stages. So on the first stage, whenever you just hold right click, she does the preparation, there goes a startup, and if you release it very early, the right click, she will only do like a a single, like a slight shockwave. If you charge it longer, the second stage, you will dash forward and do an attack after that. And if you charge it fully, which is the third stage, which is going to take just a couple of seconds, you will leap enormously. Like, you will cut a lot of distance. You will dash forward, leap forward, and after that, you can actually press the right click again to send a massive shockwave. Now, you can use Dragon Strike while moving as well, as you can see in the preview. So you can either just start it up from stationary position, or whenever you're just running, you can charge it up and then release it. Just release your hand from the right click, and she will leap forward, and then you can right click again to do this attack. Now, the extra attack after the third stage has a cooldown. So whenever you successfully hit with it, it's going to have a cooldown for 30 seconds. This thing is very good for mobility, and I highly recommend to rank it up. So whenever there is a situation where you might end up away from the boss, use the Dragon Strike to, to immediately leap towards the boss and continue being at the face of the boss, which you have to be. You must be in the face of the boss all the time. Next up is Active Lightning Fall. Now, that active skill costs 600 SP. As you can see in the preview, upon use, Lethor jumps, leaps forward, and then crashes down with a huge slam. What's so OP and good about this ability? Whenever you use it, and up until the end, you gain true iframes. And as you remember, true iframes makes you completely invisible to any kinds of attacks. Also, Lightning Fall deals an enormous amounts of damage. So this active skill is very useful. Rank it up. It's pretty good. And lastly, Active Enhanced Flurry. Now, this is just your hold move, your stun move, hold move, whenever you call it ultimate. Upon use, she does this flurry of attacks. You gain true iframes during it. And you just stun the boss, which allows your teammates to do free DPS to the boss. Every character has their own ultimate, and hers looks pretty awesome. As for the regular skills, honestly, as you can see, I didn't really level up Combat Mastery much, so as Defense Mastery, because, just don't get hit, forehead, right? Critical hit is quite important, so is Smash Mastery, because of the all chain arts that you're going to be performing all the time. In the Training tab, I would level up Strength, because it increases your natural attack. As for Restoration, Battle Respiration is important because, it decreases the amount of stamina you use during different types of movements and stuff. Stamina Mastery just increases the overall pool of your stamina. Standing Endurance, as for every character, should be at rank 9 at least, to make sure whenever you drop down, you can quickly get up. It allows you to quickly get up. A Life Flare, if you are struggling with keeping up with the bosses, just to make sure you don't die, you don't waste graces. Life Flare, you can level a little bit. HP Potion Proficiency, of course, because, the higher the rank, the more HP you restore by chugging potions. And equipment, it's just Armor Mastery and Crest Mastery. Max them up because, the higher the rank, the better the gear. Whenever you're going to level up, the better the gear you will be able to wear. And that's it for the skills, and now let's get to the combos. Now that we talked about Lethor's skills, let's talk about her combos. And we're going to start with the most important combo that is just a core thing about Lethor. And that's countering. So whenever the boss attacks you, you just press the diamond, the space button, and she will block it, and then right-click. So she can do the counter right over here. The Tiger Strike. This is the most important. I would say it's, it's pretty much all of your DPS that you're going to be doing. So once again, block the attack and then right click, and you can chain your counters as many times as you want. Boom, and again, right? After you do a counter, you can actually continue right clicking, and it will be chained into a chain art right over there. So countering is what Lethor is all about, and as you can see, you can whenever you counter an attack and do the right click, shit does the tiger strike, and then you do it again, and then you just right click, continue right clicking, waiting for another counter, fishing for another counter right here. You can chain them as many times as you want. This is the most important thing over here. Now let's talk about the regular combos. So as I said, the crescent chain arts is just one left click and then right click. So she does a set of attacks right there. Then two left clicks and then right clicking is the half chain arts, half moon chain arts. Two left clicks and then right clicking over here. We do the countering whenever, at every possible scenario you would want to do the counters. So again, space, right click, and then just spam right click whenever there are no more incoming attacks. And the full chain arts, which is 3 left clicks and then right clicking. There is honestly no difference between them damage-wise, so I would honestly say whenever you are out of stamina, whenever you're running out of stamina, I would do the half or full chain arts, full moon chain arts, because this first and the second hit of the left clicking, the second and the third hit of the left clicking restores stamina. So you're gonna just, you're just gonna kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You're gonna restore stamina and also go into the combos. These are, these you would honestly just do while sandbagging. So, it's just, that's it. And the counters. Again, I'm going to say it a lot. I said it a lot, and I'm going to say it a lot. Counters is what Lethor is all about. So you have to make sure the more you counter, the better. The more DPS you actually do. And as you can see, I only have 4k additional damage, and we're depleting Duelist's health quite quickly. All these counters, they're sick. One of the other combos that Lethor has is the Tiger Fang. So whenever you use the Tiger Fang, the active skill, she does this slap, and then you can right-click into the chain arts again, and then you can, chain it into the counters as well. And that's about it. That's all the combos that Lethor has. As you can see, it's quite simple. It's all about the timing for the counters, and whenever the boss doesn't attack, you just do whatever chain art you want, and end up just countering every single attack that is coming your way. This is it. Next step is going to be defense. And in Lethor's perspective, the best defense is offense, actually, because her iframes, the most iframes that you're going to be used to make sure you negate damage, is going to be through the countering, actually. So the first thing that you have in your defense kit is diamond, your space, just your block, right? So you gain iframes during it, and you actually gain iframes whenever you do the Tiger Strike, so the counter. So that is 2 iframes in one combo, pretty much. So once again, block and then right click. So both of them, the block and the counter, the Tiger Strike, they both have iframes on them. The other thing is cartwheel, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend to use cartwheel as, to negate damage, to, escape any kinds of damage, because whenever you cartwheel, you lose DPS. So I don't recommend doing it. Just whenever the boss attacks you, make sure you're countering instead. Because with a counter, you deal damage. But however, cartwheel does have iframes, so you can use it whenever you want. And just escape and attack. Any attack. The next thing, defense-wise, that Lethor has is Rampage, the active Rampage. So, as I said, whenever the explosion gives you true iframe, whenever you use it, explosion, that's iframe. And then the first hit is iframe, and whenever you end it up with the left click, it is a true iframe as well. So the explosion, the first hit, and the last hit in the Rampage, all of them give you true iframes. And during the Rampage, you just spam the right click all the time, and you can end the active skill anytime you want, whenever you want. Whenever you just use the left click, it ends, and the finishing blow, the last hit that Lethor does, gives you the true iframes. The hold skill, of course, gives you true iframes as well. You are invincible during it upon successful hit when the boss is going to be stunned. And lastly is the active Lightning Fall. So whenever you do the Lightning Fall, she gains true iframes as well. As you can see, I don't get hit, and you can Lightning Fall any red attacks, any KOs, anything you want. And that's about it for the defense. It's not a lot, but that's more than enough, actually. The best, as I said in the beginning, the best defense is the offense for Lethor. So the main thing in your defense kit is going to be Diamond into Tiger Strike, or just basic countering. Next step will be mobility. So, and there are three ways to gain mobility as Lethor. The first and the most basic one is just sprinting. Just like any character have sprinting, so whenever you sprint, you start running faster and faster and faster. You can spam cartwheel, which is directional key plus space, and it doesn't really consume a lot of stamina, so you technically can cut the distance quite quickly with it by just doing the cartwheels. And lastly, the best thing that I found for myself, and probably for everyone, is whenever you are running, you can hold the right click and go into the Chain Dragon Strike. So she gains this aura around her hand, and whenever you release the finger from the right click, she does a major leap forward. So you can technically use that to whenever you want to cut the distance to the boss, whenever you are far away from the boss, and at the start of the battle, of course. Because whenever the battle starts, you're going to be far away from the boss, so you just want to start charging it up. And as I said, you can charge it up from the stationary position or while running, which makes it really, an amazing tool, mobility-wise. And at the end, whenever you just start the battle, you can just release the strike, you get to the boss, and then right-click again to do this massive shockwave that does a lot of damage. And that's it for mobility. Let's roll to the next point. And the next point is stamina management. So in order to regen stamina, it's actually quite easy on Lethor. So let's go through this boss battle real quick. Let's deplete our stamina drastically. Just gonna spam the cartwheel here, and I'll show you how to regen stamina here quickly. Well, first of all, as you remember, the active aura release, it gives you stamina regeneration. So you gain this buff, and you start regenerating stamina, as you can see right over here, quite quickly. It's really, really useful. And another thing that regenerates a lot of stamina is the second and the third hit in your fist's arts, which is left clicking. So the second and the third hit restores very good amounts of stamina. So as you can see, boom, I just restored it. Very easy. So running out of stamina, I would say, on Lethor is quite hard, I would say. Also, you regain stamina whenever you successfully counter, which allows you to basically just counter more in the battle. And this is it. That's all the tools. It's more than enough. Next step will be artifacts. And artifacts are essential tools to have in the battle that really, they increase your performance, they make your performance better in the battle, so you would want to have artifacts on your character. As you remember, as you might know, there are three key artifacts that people use on different characters. Mysterious Cat Statue, that restores SP. Succubus Fang, that restores health upon use, and Greater Werewolf Paw, that increases your movement and attack speed for a short period of time. Mysterious Cat Statue, by far, is the worst artifact for me, and probably for, I would say, people would agree with me, because you naturally generate a lot of SP, and all of the active skills that Lethor has, they have big, large cooldowns. So even if you use all your SP on all your active skills, before they cool down back, right, before the cooldown ends, you're probably going to have an enormous amount of SP already. So having a cat statue, I would say, is quite irrelevant, so you don't really need it. Succubus Fang is always great whenever you are learning the character, and specifically when you're learning boss patterns, and so that you're not familiar with. So it allows you to have sustain in the battles, so you just survive longer. You might get the Succubus Fang if you want to, but the best in slot artifact for Lethor is Werewolf Paw, because it increases the speed. And Lethor needs a lot of speed for the counters, for everything, for the combo, so the faster she attacks, the more damage she does, the faster the counters. So I would say that the Greater Werewolf Paw is the go-to artifact, the best in slot. So invest into it, invest some time into doing siege or seal trading in PvP arena, and get your Werewolf Paw as fast as possible. And the next step is going to be Skill Awakenings. Next step is Skill Awakenings. And these are super important because combined together, all the Skill Awakenings that you're going to do to all the abilities that you have, all the skills, you will make your character way stronger. It's just naturally going to increase, the amounts of damage is going to be increased drastically. And it's going to be quite easy and fast because all the awakenings for Lethor are for the damage. You just increase damage on everything. Active Tiger Claw, Cartwheel Strike, all the Chain Arts, what else? The Tiger Strike, all the actives, just to make sure you put 8% increased damage awakenings on them, or 10% damage increased awakenings for them. If you happen to have the 10%, or you have the budget to buy them, the 8% you get quite easily, so you can slap them right away. And combined all together, the amounts of damage that you're going to be doing with the skill awakenings is going to be huge. Trust me here. And that's it for skill awakenings. It's quite easy, as you see. We roll to the future changes. What's going to happen to Lethor in the future patches for North America and Europe servers. And lastly are the future changes that will be coming for Lethor for North America and Europe servers. Now, Lethor that we got has already been buffed. We got the buffed version of Lethor, but that version is pre-counter nerf. So the counter nerf is gonna hit us later. And what it's all about? If the attack with the counter, right, the Tiger Strike, is successful, Lethor will receive Aura Instability status effect, a debuff, for 3 seconds. And that debuff stacks up to level 3, up to 3 times, and decreases the amounts of damage that you're going to do with the consecutive counters by up to 35%. Now, that might seem like a huge nerf, but honestly, it feels like judging by the Korean videos and the sheets of Redeemer solos, it's not really that big of a deal. Yeah, Obviously, Lethor is gonna deal less damage, but I don't think she will. She will and she is lost her top tier spot in the rankings of the characters. So I don't really think that nerf is going to be big of a deal in the end. So this is pretty much it, covering Lethor, the 16th character of Vindictus that we just got this Tuesday. This was Legend Arma TV. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave all the valuable information down below, the stamps, also my Discord and my Twitch channel where I stream Lethor a lot. So join me, join the fun. We will discuss everything that I could possibly miss in the guide. But I really hope it was useful for you guys and you found, you found all the answers to all your questions about this amazing martial artist character. I'll see you next time. Be safe. I love you all. Enjoy Lethor. Goodbye.